Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. And good evening to all points in between North, South, East, and West. This is the February 8th, 2022 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I'm glad that you can find time to join us this evening. Oops. Okay. Let me hide y'all. Okay. Uh, I am your host, Mr. Mike Walker, and just glad to have y'all here today. And let's do some salutations right quick. Uh Jenna Morgan, how you doing? Andrea, good to have you. Brother Marcus, good to see you. Brother Reginald, good to have you. Michael McKeever, nice. Teresa, bring us some ice cream. Mark Blair, good to see you. Cooper, Dorothy Cooper. Okay. Think it's your first time here. Okay, good. Ebony Washington, glad. Stacy, Davita Thompson Prater, and Margaret Campfield. Good to see you this evening. Glad to see you all here this evening. Okay, folks. Let's start with this first topic. On next Monday, it's Valentine's Day. And and you have some people, be it married couple or people who are involved with each other, they're gonna celebrate what some people count as Love Day. Of course, they go out to a crowded restaurant, and those restaurants gonna be packed, packed to the gills, or they'll have a romantic time at home. And even though you should show each other love throughout the year, but that particular day, people tend to go all out. So we know what couples gonna do, but what about people who aren't married and who do not have a partner? How do they handle it? How do people who are single handle that? So with that said, and now you can see them, we'll ask our panelists. We go from Leslie Ruth from Beham, Alabama. We got BL from Chicago. We got Tamara from Arkansas. We got Dwan Jackson from the Sunshine State. And we got Kirsten from California. How y'all folks doing this evening?
Good.
Great. So the first topic for the day, well, for the night, is dealing with singleness on Valentine's Day. And speaking for myself, there have been times that I have been single on Valentine's Day. And again, speaking for myself, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. I'm getting mad and hating on couples and just seeing, I would get ugly about it. Especially when I used to work at a restaurant, seeing people bring in their balloons and roses and everything else. I was like, well, what they doing? But and to say I didn't take that too well though. But that's then. How do y'all handle or deal with singleness on Valentine's Day? Uh Sister Leslie.
It's just another day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not in love and no one's in love with me, what am I gonna celebrate for? So it's just another day. I just go about my business and do what I would do any other day. But you know what? If I'm in a relationship with somebody on that day,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, I'm not gonna do anything different on that day that I was not already doing every other day. It's a reason for the um businesses and all that to kind of gain some additional revenue off those who say they love each other. And so I'm like, whatever you want to do for me on Valentine's Day, please make sure you're doing it on the other days as well. And just don't save it for that one day a year. One day a year.
One day a year.
Exactly. So it's not. I mean, it's not really a big thing for me at all. So being single on that day, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else?
Um, Pretty much like Leslie, it is, every day I just delight myself and enjoy the day. So whether it be Valentine's Day, Sweetest Day,
Mm-hmm.
Victor's National Holiday, any
Uh,
day, you know what I mean? It's
Victor's
whatever
na-
I set, that day to do, I do. It's normalized. It's never, I've never been sad or depressed, whether I was in a relationship or not in a relationship or not good relationship during Valentine's Day. So it never had an impact on me. It is what it is.
Yeah, Victor's national holiday. Okay, I'm gonna remember that right there. Okay, let me address this right here. T, I thought you and I were free. Go ahead, Leslie. Go ahead.
No, I was laughing because I remember what I do the day after Valentine's Day is what we call Jody Day.
Jody Day. Oh, could you
Well,
please expound on that?
This ain't Christian at all, y'all. But if you're not the main person and you're the other person, you celebrate the day after. Y'all know the singer Jody?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I get you.
You want to hear
I get
the
you.
song by Jody? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I
I
just had
get
to
you.
laugh about that. But you'll see my memes the day after, because that's what I usually post the day after Valentine's Day. Is that hey, Jody is here for you. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I think Mike
no,
lost.
no, we
Yeah.
can't hear you, Mike.
So can somebody else kind of answer the question while he regained the sound?
Oh goodness. Well, I'll say I don't. It's just the day for me. It's pagan. So once I realized the meaning of it, I don't sell. I haven't celebrated it for years. So it's just another
Mm.
day. It's February 14th to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same for
Okay.
me. It's just another day.
Yeah.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now?
It's just
Yeah.
another
Yes.
day.
Okay.
Mhm.
A little bit better.
Let me a little bit better. Okay. Let me get this right here. Tia, I thought we were better than this. Mike, what everyone else wants to know is, are you single now, Mr. Mike? Now, why are people concerned about what I do outside of the walls of SBC? Why are people concerned about that though?
Because
I
you
don't
are a
know.
mentor.
Yeah. Why you avoiding the question, Mike?
Because you're our mentor. You're our leader.
Well, folks, we've run out of time, so it's time for the
We just
announcements.
started. We just started. 14 minutes in.
It's already started.
Okay. Let me get it. Reginald says, well, considering that it's the day after the Super Bowl, some might be hungover from a late night. Plus, it's on a Monday and it's a work day as well. So it's just another day. Hmm. Okay. That's interesting right there. Who else? And Shell Ricks. Everyone is not the same, and you can't speak for other people. I wonder where that comes from right there.
Mhm.
Mm.
Erica Joyce, one thing I do is stay away from social media. I'm happy for all the couples, but it makes me sad that I don't have a Valentine of my own. Last year, I bought myself flowers and chocolate, got my hair and nails done. Self care is definitely key, although that should be an everyday thing. Well,
Mhm.
Erica Joyce, fret not, because, with social media, you can't believe everything you see. They might pose and smile, and, the next day they raising hell with each other. So, they might be doing that for a front. Just like how some people during the holiday season with their matching PJs and what have you. you know, you can't let that deter you though. But that is good though. Because self-care is fantastic though. So you definitely should uh, look after that. And Tracy says, I tend to be traveling around mid-February. I'll be on a cruise this year. Okay, that's good. And Tia says, we want you to be happy. Oh, you want Dwan to be happy. Well, of course we want him to be happy, though. Okay, that's what we want that for him, though. And because we want you to have someone nice. We love you. Oh, okay. Let me get this one more. I give love of the kids that call the widows and widowers to let them know that they are not forgotten on that day. Lifting someone else up keeps me out of my own feelings. So far, it has worked, and that's a pretty good idea
That's
right
good,
there.
Stacey.
That is a
Yeah.
that's a good idea right there. And D Giles says this about Joe today. Buy myself flowers and the good candy the day after at 50 to 75% off.
Very
Okay.
smart. Very smart.
Okay, then. Well, we got that then. So, and I'm kind of glad we finished with this topic because I want to get to the next topic. Okay. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I may sing you a Valentine. Keyword may. So as y'all know, the next topic, and it's been trending about Kierra Sheard Kelly and the statement she made concerning her husband, her household, and her friends. And it's been stirring up a lot of conversation on the World Wide Web. So those of you who aren't familiar with this situation, uh let's take a listen.
In your marriage. And so I'm down for it all.
And you know what? There's like I know you said you're really close with your mom, and I know she gives you advice. And there's like an ongoing rule. My mom tells me the same thing. I'm not married, but once you're married, do not let another woman into your household. And I know you have close friends, and we've seen it on TV, reality shows. We've seen it in real life, seen it on court shows, talk shows. You let a family member, a close friend, stay at your house for a while. Maybe they need a place to stay, and something happens with the husband. Are you mindful of that? Does your mother warn you of that? Like, Kierra, I know you have a good heart, sweetie, but there's no woman that's staying in your house. Unless it's your sister, a sister, that's fine. But
absolutely, Tashara, my mama has already don't have too many people around y'all. Don't get comfortable. I don't care how good you trust or whatever it is. I'm very mindful and very careful. I will buy a friend a hotel room before I let them stay at my house. However, I am a prayerful woman to discern the space that I am in. I'm also very cautious of what purpose am I supposed to serve in this person's life? And so while I'm very prayerful, I'm always also asking God outside of mom to direct me. Is in this season, am I supposed to let them into my home? Because, we as believers, we believe that what we have, we're supposed to share with others, but I'm not sharing my man. And so since I'm not sharing my man, I have to be cautious with, everything else that I share, as far as with him being there too. So absolutely, that's a lesson that I get. And I think it's a such thing as a balance, which that also goes to Tashara, why we have to have wise friends, encourage our friends to, because you know how they say a lot of single women, they can't give you counsel, but I was single and I was able to tell my married friends good advice,
Right.
So I think it is a such thing, but it definitely is also a such thing as boundaries.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance because I hate when oh, girl, don't let her around your man. Yo, that's my homegirl. So what if she's single? Don't just label her as she's gonna take that's love right there. I that's right. A good point too. Like you have to know the levels and the line of no, that she loves me.
Absolutely. And some friends don't know that balance. Like you can understand the balance, but if they don't understand the balance, then that gives you room and the green light to, all right, let's go ahead and
Correct.
Do some adjustments here. So I feel you 100%.
Right. And I'm not married, so I don't even know I'm talking like that.
But maybe it's on the way, honey, if that's what you want.
I'm going to be prayerful, like you said.
Well, so the key, and this is the next topic, Hotel Kierra. So
So silly.
Hotel Kierra. So, is her approach or method extreme? Is it within reason?
Mhm.
I think it is because I had never heard that video, but listening to her, what I read on social media, that's not even what she said. So she talked about being mindful and discerning. So when you read what social media says, it's just like, she just you can't stay at her house. No, she said she would be prayerful and
Mm-hmm.
to, consult with God if I'm supposed to let this person stay. So yeah, that I'm glad you played that because I had never heard it.
Yeah, and I've always heard, read about it. They just says Kierra says she'll put her friends in a hotel before that, and nothing else before that or after that.
Right,
It's just
right.
that. So that's why the video had to be played so we could get the whole context of what's going on.
I'm
Victor.
glad you did. Yeah.
I feel like that's Kierra's their house, their
Mm-hmm.
business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard on social media a lot of backlash regarding it, but how many people can put their friends up in a hotel?
Mm.
Right, right.
So people complaining, but they can't put the money up. So if you're gonna complain that she does it, then be able to put your friend up in a hotel.
Right.
And whatever somebody do, because I think I heard, oh, she don't trust her husband, she don't trust her friends. What type of friends she got? We all have different ideologies and different beliefs and stuff. It's her house, and in my house, I got rules.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't think you can abide by the rules of my house, then you're gonna stay out at the courtyard and you won't get in the foyer because it's my house. And so if that's the rule she got at her house, by all means, sing it. Singer says sing it.
Sometimes things happen in the past, and when something maybe she went through something in the past, and she was with her boyfriend or whoever at the time, and one of her friends came over, and next thing you know, he creeping downstairs, or she creeping wherever. Maybe something happened, and so she's like, okay, I'm not having nobody over my house because of something that has happened before. I've never heard this story. I actually skimmed through an article before we came on. So, like for my family, like whenever we have somebody come over at the house, they could be cousins, aunts, uncles. We put them in a hotel. They don't stay over to the house. That's our house. Even though you are family, sometimes it's peaceful to put somebody in a hotel rather than have them in your house. So I mean, I don't have any problems with it. I mean, if Kierra wants to do that, that's fine. That's her house. Let her do what she needs to do.
Mm-hmm. And like Victor said, maybe some people might be just a bit envious that she can put someone or has the ability to put someone up in a hotel and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be anything though. Jenna Morgan says I'm the single friend out of most of my friends. I have never stayed at a married friend's house just as a respect for my friend. Not that I would ever be in their husband's face.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Jones McKeever says she's just using wisdom when it comes to a marriage and home. Okay. And right here, of course, everyone knows that one girl you can't leave alone with your man. And we can modify. We also know that one guy you can't leave alone with your wife. So I mean, it could go all that way. Evangelist Kirsten.
Look, I know we all done been to church. We done all had different times or different things or different ways. But in the church that I grew up in, um, the best thing to do was to sit down with the old mothers and get teaching and get understanding and all that and get an understanding. And the one thing that the mothers would teach in the church is you don't allow those kind of things. Don't let your good be evil spoken of. Don't don't allow someone to walk in your house and then allow them to walk in your bedroom. You don't know what kind of spirit or situation or what may be going on that you allow walk into your house, number one, and then to walk into your bedroom, number two. You didn't just walk in a mother's house and then be able to walk in her bedroom, and that was where her and her husband slept at. That just didn't happen back in the day. There's some mothers that they don't still do it today. I get what she was saying. You just have to be careful. People carry spirits. Whether we realize it or not, people carry spirits. You have to be careful about them spirits. If her husband, both of them, her Kierra, her and her husband are younger, so you don't know what kind of situation. Just like Dewan was saying, you don't know what happened in her past because she was engaged before to a pastor. And suddenly that got cut off. Nobody knows the story or what happened. You never know. But why would you place yourself in that position? Why would she, as a woman, place herself in that position? I think she did good for saying, "Hey, I'll put my friend up in a hotel. I'm not going to tempt my husband. I'm not going to tempt him." Just like he's not going to tempt her. Why would you put yourself in that position? Because what we deal with today more than ever is divorce. Why? It's usually one or two things: finances or cheating. I mean, seriously. So why would you put yourself in that position? Make sure that you are on a level where you don't have to deal with that. Now, if it's happening outside the house, that's something that you still have to come and deal with. I'm not saying that this won't happen outside the house, but why would you allow it to be inside your house? Be careful on every hand. I'm just saying. I let me stop because y'all know I can go there.
Okay. Sheila Nimrod says, I agree at the end of the day. It's her home, and if she would prefer to provide lodging at a hotel, that's her business. Shouldn't have to explain the decisions you make about what goes on in her own home.
Amen.
And Tasha Lady Ty Smith says, I think people who don't fully understand the sanctity and spiritual relationship of marriage don't realize how important it is to protect it. There are many ways to cover your spouse, and that is exactly what Kierra is speaking to. And one more, I say I do this. Back in the day, let me see, can come to the home, but you can't make yourself a home. Okay, so so I have to ask. Well, I lost my train of thought just like that. So let me read this one right here. Uh, People who have different lifestyles. Someone who uses a lot of profanity. Someone who likes to drink. Someone who likes to talk, who talks loud. If you don't feel like being bothered with all of that, then you can't stay here. And Dwan said this may have happened in the past. And then what Kirsten said, she was engaged once before. I don't know what happened, but she was engaged once before. So we don't know what it is though. And you have to protect your house. You have to protect your home. And especially, and it's sad though, especially if you know some of your friends. You know, that's one thing. It's kind of a sad case though. You have to protect your spouse from someone that you know. That's not good right there.
But you said it, Mike. You know your friends. You know the friend that likes to walk around her home in the short shorts and the tank top. When you tell people to make themselves at home, they may make themselves at home, and they may walk around your home the way they walk around their own home in front of your husband or in front of your wife in whatever way. So I think people know their friends and they know what they. And if you're letting someone in your house, you have to know them enough to know that what they're capable of, and what their inclinations are. And if you don't trust that, or you think that could create any level of temptation, it's not even a major level, any tiny bit of temptation, you don't bring that in your house at all.
Well, and I'm gonna ask this question, then we go to Victor. If you know they are capable, maybe intentional or unintentional, of doing what you just described, then shouldn't it be time to kind of reevaluate that friendship?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. I'm not going to dismiss a friend because they like to walk around their house a certain way.
I'm talking about.
And they may not have the maturity to know that when you come to my house, you need to be fully clothed at all times. Some people just immature. We don't dismiss people because of their immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
You just know that this person is not going to have unless you have to go and tell them. I said, girl, you can come, but let me tell you, while you're in my house and you're walking around, going from the bedroom to the refrigerator to get some water or whatever, you need to be fully covered up. And then people may get offended because you address their immaturity, and so if they do, then oh, so it's about you and not about me in my house. So then, yeah, you don't let them in your house. So yeah, sometimes you have to have a conversation to see how people respond, see what their level of maturity is in that situation. And if they can't deal with your rules in your house, then you have to question everything, their motives and all.
Okay. Victor.
I think in the context when she was communicating, she indicated that it was something her mother, emphasized to her, and it had nothing to do with, I felt like, her friends and her husband, as it was something that she felt was transferred to her. And I don't know if it had any why her mother did it, but that's a common, like Kirsten said, that was a common practice that was given, for a lot of people. I think sometimes we read more into it because of our own experience and not because of her situation. And so, but whatever she do, it's her house. So I don't read no more into it. I take it at face value because that's her business.
Mm-hmm.
I got my own set of rules in my own house. I don't care what she does.
Mm-hmm.
At least she had she at least put him up in a hotel. So at some point, me personally, when I go visit my siblings, I stay in a hotel. For me, that's the rule that I govern my life, that I stay in a hotel. I don't want to stay in a house. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my general rule. Am I welcome? Yes. Would I be appropriate? Yes. But I don't want to stay in no one's house. I want to stay in a hotel. It ain't got nothing to do with the person. It's just my personal preference.
And I
and
agree
and,
with
and
that.
and
Go
as she
ahead.
said, that was something that was embedded in her by her mom. So maybe nothing happened to her. That's just the teaching that she chooses to hold on to because it makes sense to her. And that's probably something that happened at her mother's house too. So I mean, I was reading the comment, that somebody personally felt like it's unhealed trauma. Everything that a person does is not traumatic.
Mm-mm.
It's
Mm-mm.
if you're taught something, you're taught something.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught you don't let nobody drive your car. You don't let nobody to wear a certain weight get in your car. And I tell you right now, I will check when I buy a car, I check to see what the weight capacity is. My grandmother taught us you don't ride too many people in your car because it'll make your axle break. I don't know if that's true, but I believed it because she said. So and I mean, I think when you've gotten information from those that you believe are looking out for your best interest, you carry that to adulthood, and there's nothing wrong with that. So everything is not trauma. Everything is just, it makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. So just my little old perspective on the matter.
Okay. Okay. La 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 la. Elisa says, I totally agree with her. I did that once and it went downhill. You can't trust everyone, but there should be a level of respect. Uh-huh. Let me see. Tiffany Murphy, if she's giving out 3 or 4 star lodging, do I pick up the hotel key? So, I'm like this personally. If my friend offered to pay for my hotel for visiting, hey, I'm good with that though. So, okay, and let me see. Oh yeah, talking about her ex-fiance. I agree with her. Bishop allegedly had an affair with one of the sisters. Okay. I need some
What
Sprite.
Her husband is a bishop?
Her father.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
that ain't got nothing to do with.
Yeah, he's head of Church of God in Christ.
Yes,
he's head of the Church of God in Christ.
Mm-hmm. I think she's talking about
he's
her ex.
He's top head.
I think she's referring to the the ex-fiance, if I'm not mistaken. And if she isn't, please someone correct me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I believe. I don't believe that. But the flesh is weak. Jewel says the flesh is weak. No matter what level you're at in your walk with Christ, we must use wisdom and not allow any type of temptation. I am in agreement with Kierra. And Tiffany says, for me, I've stayed with some married friends, but we've had years of friendship and solidity of our friendship. I'm the same about people staying with me. I need to have a true foundation with you. Can't close your eyes around anyone, married or single. But Tiffany, that do sound good though. But even sometimes the closest of friends, things can go downhill. Temptation. Go ahead.
Your friends. I mean, I just went to New Orleans this past weekend and stayed with my married friend and her husband. I was in their wedding, so I've known her for over 20 years and him since while they were dating. You know your friends. You know who you can bring in your house. I mean, I just think you just have to know. And it's not like it's an extended time. You're talking about for a weekend. And when you're spending time with people. Now, you have some idleness. You got people who are staying. Oh, I need to come stay at your house for a couple of weeks while they close on my house and open up move into the other house. And you're like, 2 weeks? Hold on now. So there's opportunity for you and my husband to be in this house by by yourself. And, things can happen. You don't know. You have to know the people. You have to know the people in your circle.
Yes, ma'am. We got some good comments here. Jenna Morgan says, I remember as a kid, my parents had a ministry friend they allowed to stay with us one time, and he came on to my mom. My dad put his behind out. Never again. Okay. He didn't have to pick up his teeth from the floor. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Wait. Reginald, and I just hear his voice when I read this. It always takes two to cheat. I don't care if they're walking around butt naked. It still takes two to cheat. Yep. So
thank you, Reginald, for the visual.
Like I said, I hear it in his voice. Okay. Tia said it's just a precaution. no guarantee that either party will do something wrong. Again, just a boundary that your household has. And let's see, Shaquita has an alternate take on this. I personally feel like it's an unhealed trauma. And again, it goes back to what Tamara said earlier. Everything is not about trauma. Everything is not about trauma.
It could be about trust, because I'm
Yes.
just in my house.
There you
I
go.
didn't know that I could trust you in my house when I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
I have valuables, things that are precious to me. So if I run to the store real quick to go get some eggs so we can make this breakfast, and I can't trust you to be in the house with my jewelry, you don't stay in my house. No, we don't do that. So it's about trauma. Everything about trauma. Don't put that darkness on people.
That's
because
right.
they don't, because they don't allow they don't allow you to have your way in their life. So that's the thing. People want to be able to manipulate and have some type of power over other people, and if they don't let them in, something must be wrong with you. No, I don't know you, and I don't have to let you have way in my life and in my home.
That's your space.
Thank you, my sanctuary, my peace.
Yeah. Okay. Victor.
We have street signs for a reason, and boundaries and things like that, and people are entitled to have that in their life. Going back to the tape, there was a question asked of her. It referenced her mother. Take the face value of the tape, review the tape, leave the analyzation and everything to the professional people who are trained in dealing with the history and stuff like that. Even clinicians, they're going to get history before they make a diagnosis. They're going to get information. And so, and not information based off of you, but information based off what the person said. She made it clear. Her mother gave her some instruction, like many of us. We get cleaning tips, household. She gave her a tip. Mm-hmm. And so she used that for her house. And it's just that. We make it more. And so sometimes instead of looking at her, we got to look into what did it tap into me? Mm-hmm. Why do I believe what I believe? Mm-hmm. Why do I think the way I think about it? Because it may be what we're doing is projecting stuff on her that's really inside of us. And to a position we need to heal ourselves. Because when I looked at it, I took it as face value, but I don't care what she did. That's her house. Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a deal. And if you've been in the church community for any length of time, let's say 10 years, you've heard that before. That ain't the first time we've heard it. So it is amazing to me that I hear in the church community the ooh, the ahs. What if you've been in the church? You've heard that. That's been the thing that a lot of older women have taught younger women, that type of stuff. So that ain't so bizarre, so strange. So why do we make it? Because it's something in us that we make an issue out of it. Not in Kierra, because it's nothing new. So if it's nothing new, what's in me that it triggered? Which could be trauma, which could be unresolved issue within us, not in her. And so that's just my 2 cents.
I'm about to pass the collection plate right now.
Let the Lord watch between me and thee.
Evangelist, go right ahead. Kirsten.
I have to totally agree with Victor. It's a big deal because she's in the public eye.
Right.
It's been said in the church for years. But because she's in the public eye and she's a known person, that's why it has become this big, that's what she said. She said she ain't gonna let nobody stay at her house. Y'all stop. I have to agree with Victor. Totally 100%. It is what it is. It has nothing to do with necessarily to do with trauma or anything like that. That's the way she was taught. That's the way it is. That's the way that's just the way it is. Why does it have to be such a big deal? It's only because she's in the public eye. because I guarantee you, Sam Summer Hobo that lives down the street, they say the same thing. You ain't gonna say nothing about it because you don't know them in the public eye. Just saying.
And it's almost similar to the situations where you have pastors who counsel their church members. And if they're counseling a female church member, usually they have another female minister or an assistant, someone in that time when they're counseling that they, during that time. So they're not in a situation where they're alone, one-on-one with that female church member, just to make sure that even in the counseling setting, that in your vulnerability, that you're not leaning in on some situation that's not really happening. So it's like, what is it? Don't let my good be evil spoken of. So you have to protect yourself, even in the attempt of doing something good for somebody. You have to make sure that you're not looked at, especially in ministry, because people will see you talking to somebody in the street, and next thing you know, y'all dating. You didn't been out there making out with somebody. So we were just talking in the grocery store. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" But people love to see stuff and create a picture in their mind and run with it. Protect yourself, and by any means necessary.
Mark Blair says, if you're that worried about the person you're with cheating, then maybe you shouldn't be with them. Well, it's not a case of you worrying about your spouse or partner or what have you cheating. It's just simply referring to being careful, using spiritual common sense. Get rid of the temptation on both ends. Everybody's happy. So that's the way I look at it. And yes, you have to protect that. Shamika Montgomery, yes, you have to protect that peace at all costs. And it's just, Charlene says, it's just the respect for my husband and me and our home. And we got Leslie Roof in the audience. That's good. We are allowed to have boundaries. Don't get offended. If I don't allow you to cross my threshold, her threshold, y'all, I'm protected by sanctuary. Okay. Oh goodness. We're here, Keena Lynn. I got a set of iron skillets. That's a wedding gift with a note that these are multi-purpose. It ain't trauma. Okay. Okay. We know who we talk about. And okay, yeah, thank you.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, that's good right there. And two more, then we'll move on to the last topic for the night. Or it could be that we know why her mother gave her that advice. And right, there's definitely anything new. So there you have it on that. And I'll just say this again, if you're going on just what you read and you hadn't looked at the video, then of course, any and everybody has a chance to embellish it.
Right.
Add hyperbole to it and make it seem worse than what it is, though.
Right.
And she didn't stay. And if you look at the video, she just didn't dwell on that part too long. She
Right.
would, context is everything.
Yeah.
Again, know what happened before and after. It's like trying to eat a hamburger and you just eating the patty. So that's the way I look at that, though. So the last topic, y'all. In SBCC, and just the smallest of topics can cause a riot in that group. The simple things though. And this topic we're gonna talk about is no different though. And I know most y'all have seen it. If you've seen it in SBC, you've seen it in other groups, similar groups. So here it go. Let me move this banner down here. Before you get married, discuss bills, parenting styles, credit, debt, religion, how to deal with family, what beliefs will be instilled in your children, childhood traumas, sexual expectations, partner expectation, financial expectation, family health history, mental health history, bucket list, really bucket list, dream home, careers and education, political views, and whatever else comes to mind. Love alone is not enough. Okay. So the next topic is simple. Love alone is not enough. Is it enough? Are those I understand some of those points, whomever made that meme made are good, but how is a bucket list germane to a future marriage? You know, what say y'all? Just about the whole meme itself. Do we ask those sort of questions?
I think throughout a relationship, you would be talking about several of those items that are listed in that meme. I mean, it's part of getting to know someone, getting to know their past, their present, what their hopes for the future. I mean, either that's gonna make you fall more in love with that person, or it's gonna make you run to the hills. So the bucket list part is like that's. I mean, it's important because if someone has a desire to parachute off out the plane or jump off or do mountain climbing and climb up the tallest, I mean, they have some really life risk taking type of bucket list things. You may want to consider if your heart and you can handle that kind of stuff. You want to know what that really tells you the kind of person they are when they tell you about their dreams and their hopes and things they want to do before they leave this earth. So I think it's just part of getting to know somebody. I think all of that is important because a lot of those things come up later on when you're out of the euphoria, the love, and the woo woo woo, and the newlywed stage, and you're sitting there, and they look at you and they say, "I don't like the way you do this," and you look like, "What?" And it's tied to something their mama said, when they were a child. Like, I don't like the way you telling me to fold these clothes. My mama always told me to fold the clothes like this. Why are you telling me to fold like, it's like, hold up now. Wait a minute. Really? So you have to ask these things and you have to test these with a relationship and test these type of situations so you get to know people. Maybe test is the wrong word, but it's a way you converse so you can dig. It's like you ask a question 10 different ways, see if you get 10 different answers, or you get the same answer. You are trying to dig deeper into people, and that's what you should be doing in a relationship stage anyway.
And like you said though, everything is great. Y'all running through the field of flowers, holding hands,
singing,
singing, and birds chirping and everything. But once that newness wears off, then all of a sudden you have sight beyond sight and you're seeing, you know what? I don't like how you do that. I don't like how you put the toilet paper on the roll. I don't like this. I don't like that though.
First, then they sipping the super straw too loud. They chewing too loud. They snoring too loud. All these things. Like, hold up now. I've been snoring the same way for the last.
I've been snoring the same way.
You are upset and it's aggravating you. So okay.
I know. Kirsten, you had your hand up. Did she hear me?
I'm sorry. Kirsten. No, I was just praising the Lord because I was just thinking the same thing. Love ain't enough, especially when they get on your nerve. I might get on his nerve, he might get on my nerve, or one or the other. However it go, brother man, get on your nerve. Love ain't got nothing to do with it. Look here, y'all. Y'all better have something together and in common. Communication, everything, trust. You better have a whole combination of stuff. Because look, you can say you love all day long, but look, you better have something to hold on to. Because if you don't, look at here, they'll mess your mind up real quick. You'll be ready to run. And that's what's halfway wrong with folks nowadays. That's why they get divorced so fast and they run and they do all of this and that and the other. Don't get me wrong. I know there's things that happen and there's so many things that may be going on within a marriage today where they end up. I look, I know somebody right now today. They was married. 2 months later, they on their way to divorce already. Now, really, what done really happened? You
Wow.
know, did you get married for
They
the
didn't
wrong
know each
reason?
other. They didn't have
No.
the right conversations.
As
I
far as
mean,
they was concerned, they
it can,
did. But you
yeah,
know,
it can vary because there's
that
people
that that
that
that
knew each other for a
and
month. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kirsten. Yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just trying to hear what you were saying. That'll immediately make you think, okay, so did you get married just for the sex? Because we have to remember that that's just 1/3 of a relationship. I'm not going to go there, but come on, let's just be honest with each other. Let's be real. Did you really truly have that conversation, those conversations before you got into where you are? Your flesh got weak, so you was like, well, I rather marry than to burn, and then you didn't got burnt anyway. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
mic off.
No, go ahead.
Tamara, then Victor.
So I believe out of the plethora of topics, I believe some are reserved for the particular stages. Because if you're getting to know a person, you're going to talk about certain things. And I think that they're going to be things that flow organically. Uh, then once you've gotten past that stage, then you're going to the okay. So those questions, or I see those questions being played out. Can we now, decide that we want to be exclusive? And so after that stage, then okay, we're going to come into covenant. I mean, there's so many things that, like Leslie was saying, and Sissy Pooh, you find out stuff that you never even thought about was going to come to fruition because it's like, well, we didn't talk about that. Something minute can just make or break a relationship, and a friendship, whatever. So having those conversations, I think when we're having those conversations and it is an organic based conversation or organically, a naturally flowing conversation, I think you find out more when a person is not pressured to answer or they feel like they got to give the right answer. Then that's no, that ain't what you no, that's not what you said 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I think that when things happen naturally, if it's gonna be, it's gonna be good, bad, or indifference. And I think that I agree that love is not enough. There's so much more that you put in that love, but that love will allow you to see the person through whatever issues that are not just pressing. So that's my belief. That's my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Victor.
I think love is nurtured by so many different factors. Before I go into that, I want to say I had the thought that Leslie typed in is that I may love you, but I may not always like you.
Right.
I may love you, but I may not always be able to tolerate everything about you. And so I think there are different factors that we all have a definition of love. And it's what are the ingredients that you consider that constitute love for you, because what I may consider may be different than what Leslie and what Dewan may consider, or Kirsten and what Tamara may consider of love. And so the things that fortify your love, just like faith, faith that needs works to have to back up faith. Same way with love. There needs to be some works to help back up love, because I may love you, but I may not know how to handle conflict with you. I can handle the light conflict, but I may not be able to handle the heart issue. And so I think it comes down to a point that love helps to charge you and can help to change you. And it's there, but it needs some other stuff to push you. And so I think that love is enough, but it's not the only thing,
Mm-hmm.
because the scriptures of um, First Corinthians, love is patient. So you need that. You need, God so loved the world. But then if you notice, he loves us, but everybody ain't running to him.
Right.
And so there needs to be knowledge, there needs to be wisdom, there needs to be discernment, there needs to be trust, because I may love you, but I may not always trust you.
Mm.
So I think that the works of love needs to be
Mhm.
stated. And I think that something that Kirsten and I think Tamara alluded to is that love sometimes get tested. It's like a muscle. It goes through some stuff in order to grow. And so does your love stay stagnant?
Mhm.
Does it change or does it evolve? Because there's seasons. And so, you know, it's important to know where you're at with love and be able to know how you cultivating the love you have for yourself, the love you have for someone else, the love you have for God. And so, and that's different from person to person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
that's so true because what he said, love is a noun, but it's also a verb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that feeling. It's that feeling of love, but it's how you demonstrate that feeling of love. And based on just what Victor said in First Corinthians 13, how do you demonstrate patience and kindness and all those attributes that it talks about that love is? It's acted out. It's demonstrated. It's shown. It shows up in the darkest of places, in the hardest of moments in that relationship. It shows up in the way you respond, deal with that person, and how you pour out how you sacrifice, how you compromise, how you all of that, you know. And I think that's what we're missing. We want to hear somebody say they love us. Oh, I love. Oh, he said he loved me, girl. He said he loved me. He ain't showing you nothing. She's not showing you anything. You know what I'm saying? We need to see love acted out
Mm-hmm.
in everyday living and not just think that it's some blame because you know you can buy somebody anything, but are you gonna be there for me in my when I come home from work and I've had a hard day and I need to talk? Are you there to listen to me? You know, are you patient with me? Are you kind to me? Are you kind to other people around me? You know, it's so many ways you can act that out, and that's what we need to pay attention to. Words are one thing, but how your words,
Mm-hmm.
the truthfulness and the weight of those words are demonstrated in your everyday life. Just like the verse said, faith without works is dead. Your faith is demonstrated by what your faith
Yeah.
causes you and leads you to do. Okay? What does your love for me lead you to do?
Um, my 2 cents on this. Remember, I think it was in November. We had the 7 day challenge, I believe, and so I reached out to somebody who was in this group, and I was like, "You want to do the 7 day challenge?" And she's like, "Okay." So we during that period, um, for like a month, we would get to know. We would call each other, have 2 3 hour conversations over the phone. Some of the topics that's in that meme we discussed.
Mm.
You know, now some of those topics are for later down in the road when you're in a relationship and trying going to that level of marriage. But before that, we did talk about certain things like that. I mean, she was already married. She got divorced. She has a 10-year-old son, which was fine with me. And she was engaged, but then she had problems with that one. So she was going through some stuff and everything, and yeah, we discussed those type of topics, you know, because in order to get to that point of loving somebody, you gotta have those conversations, and you have to make sure and see who is this person that I'm going to spend my life with. Because if you don't have that conversation, you'll get surprised once you get married and then something happened. You're like, where did that come from? You didn't have that conversation. And for me personally, I got to trust somebody before I love them. If I trust you, then love will come right behind that.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm. And trust goes a long way. You know.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
And Dawn, are you still talking to her?
No, we're friends now, but I still talk
Okay.
to her every now and then.
Okay. Okay. Victor.
It's something that Tamara said that I think merits expounding on. She said, some things organic, and though I'm an interviewer type of person, I've learned to interview your actions versus your confession, or interview your lifestyle versus your confession. Because some things I learned to see by just being in relationship with you, that you may give me the right answer, but if I observed your lifestyle, it'll tell me the truth where you're really at. And so, and I find it out in non-threatening ways. I get that information, and so, and it's something Dewan said is, I create a safe space so that you can trust me, and that I can trust you, and that I can get the real you, and that you can get the real me, because I ain't trying to fake it with you. What you see is what you get. Like me, don't like me, it's fine. I'm gonna still be me. At the end of the day, whether you like me, I'm gonna still be Victor Lewis Ford. Whether you love me, I'm gonna still be Victor Lewis Ford. So however I am, I'm gonna be me. But organically, look at the person in the context of who or how they are. So I listen to how you tell me you are on the job. I listen to your family. I listen to your friend. That tells me a little bit, because however you cut them off, you're gonna cut me off too. Just in the same circumstances. Just the difference is my name will be different than their name, but you'll cut me off too. So I look at stuff like that. And that's why I'm not in the rush, because for me, I get to learn more in the slow cooker than I do in the microwave.
Microwave, exactly.
Ooh, that was a word right there.
That's the second collection plate.
I'm writing that down. Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh goodness, that's a good one right there.
You're gonna see that later on, Victor, on my Facebook page. I'm gonna put your initials behind it. They don't know who you are.
But that's something to me, like Tamara was saying, it's that organic thing, because I think a lot of times we're doing more acting than we are being. Dating has become so performance based, opposed to being based. I'm gonna be how I am. Whether you see me on the job, or you see me at the church, or with my brothers or my friends, I'm gonna be the same way. But a lot of times we performance based. I want you to see the good side of me. No, I want you to see the gray. I want you to see the bald, because I'm 52 years old. I'm not 27. So, you know what I mean? Can you really show you? Can you be comfortable enough in you to be how you really are with that person, and showing how you really, if you really have the struggle with unforgiveness, or you got the anger problem, you ain't got to fake it. A lot of forgiveness is an issue we all deal with. Expressing anger is a normality. And so it's being able to normalize stuff so that people can be comfortable to be themselves, and they don't have to mask.
But you know what? To that, Bishop, a lot of people, who they are, they want to conceal who they are until they get where they're looking to get to. So, that's deception, but it's just like, who you really, really are. But you have to place this facade so that this person can find you attractive, but that's not even you. So why not just give the person the real you and let he or she make the decision? This don't work. This don't work. So I think that we've come, well, some people have come away from being who they are, because there's this stigma. If you present your authentic self, that they're not gonna like you. So what I have to say, I wonder what people think when they find out you are ratchet, you ain't no good, you low down, you dirty, you know. So I mean, so what did you do? And then you be the one posting, it was a waste of time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No,
I'm offended by the ratchet comment because I think you can be ratchet and classy and spiritual and saved all at the
Wait a
same
minute.
time.
Wait a minute. I just said to Vic just today, I was heated. I called him up and I was talking. He just listens to me. If anybody knows me, it would be Vic. And I believe even some regard Mike and Kirsten. I call them up when I get to feeling a particular way. Then I be saying, Lord, I'm glad I'm talking to them because I don't think no man will deal with this. But this is me. You're going to get to marry. I'm getting ready to cuss. I'm getting ready to call people names. I'm getting ready to do all of that because that's who I am. But there's another side of me too. So I got the ratchetness, I got the classiness, I got the professionalism, but I am who I am. Take me as I am or leave me where I stand. That's what I say. That's what I say.
Y'all dropping these nuggets good this evening. I tell you though, and I have it too. I could be ratchet.
Yeah.
I know I could be ratchet, profane, and everything else though. So and let me read this. Legacy Reynolds says this. In the beginning, everybody is on their best behavior. Everybody wears a mask in the beginning. That's why you're on cloud 12. She didn't say cloud 9. Cloud 12 in the beginning until he or she do something that you don't like. Then that doggone mask comes off. And that's the thing I don't like about early parts of the relationship. You have to keep up that facade that's going, this and that. But you can only act only for so long.
Amen.
Before that mask deteriorates, the costume doesn't fit anymore. Exactly. You be the real person comes out, So and it goes back to what Leslie said. It was all right in the first week, the first month of the relationship that you did this or you did that, but now it's an issue. What changed in those 30 days?
Yeah.
What changed in these 30 days?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something right there. So it's oh goodness, here, Keena. I could be so ratchet with my strand of pearls intact. Okay. I could believe
let me write that down.
Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed in them 30 days. They was the same person. They was just holding it back, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the right time, and then they show themselves friendly or unfriendly if you want to say it so much. That's why I always tell anybody who say, "Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, it's so good. We've been together for 2 weeks and blah blah blah." I was like, "Give it 3 months and then you come back and talk to me. Give it 3-4 months and then come back and talk to me. Give us and then come back and talk to me." Because I guarantee you're gonna see a whole different side. Because when comfortability step in, that's when a whole new face shows. And whether you like the face or not, that's totally up to you.
Yeah. Like I said, the day is what? Like I said, Valentine's Day is what? February 14th. All the lovey-dovey, squishy, squashy, everything else though. But what's going to happen on August 14th? What's going to happen then? Are y'all still in love, or y'all done got so familiar with each other you can't stand each other at that point though? I'm just saying,
You said August 14th. You better be talking about February 15th. What happened the next day? They done tipped out the bedroom and went on home about their business. What you talking about? Okay, let me stop.
Remember, February 15th, that's Jody Day. So you got to look at that right there. And wait, Keena says, at least see him or her in 8 outfits before you say
because outfit number 1 may be straight up ratchet.
Mhm.
And I mean ratchet in a bad way. Like show up at, I told y'all about the date I had where the guy and it was in February
Yeah.
and he showed up in the pink linen
No.
pants,
No.
No.
peach linen. It was like an Easter outfit, and it was February. I'm like, it's cold outside. I got on boots, a sweater, a scarf, and this is a peach linen pants outfit. And I'm like, what's going on? So sometimes it's outfit number 1. Yes, I'm that petty.
What was outfit number 2 though?
I ain't
What's
mean
that?
it.
He gave it another
He did some
Wait a
other
minute.
things too on that date, but yeah, he wasn't gonna make it.
Was
That
he
was-
even
I mean,
cute? Was he even cute?
Was he cute?
Yeah.
I don't go out with nobody ugly. What you talking about? He was a nice looking man. There was some other things that happened too. He showed up 30 minutes late. And
Oh.
while I waited for 30 minutes, I had some queso and a margarita, and he didn't want to pay for that because that didn't happen while he was there. So aside from the peach linen outfit, I know we're in Alabama, but it was like 30 to 40 degrees outside.
Mm.
It was not Easter.
Mm.
He just, I don't know. But anyway, so it could be one outfit.
Was he wearing sandals?
No, he had on like some, some brown little loafer kind of shoes.
Some hard bottoms.
Sandals with the tennis, with the socks.
With the socks. But the peach linen pants set
Y'all
in
like it.
February and below, it wasn't Easter. It wasn't Easter, y'all.
Well, he was kind of, cotton fields. He was kind of, Black history. He was kind of celebrating, stuff like that. So he was being creative.
Vic.
Victor, you are hilarious. You can't hold back the laughter. Go ahead, laugh, Vic.
Listen, y'all. Kimberly reviews. He was pressing his suit. Okay.
That's why it was late.
Anissa Brown. He got it on the clearance rack at K&G.
I believe it. It was, yeah. It was correct.
And
Cleared out all that stuff. It was, it was.
Keena said
final
he can
sale.
take his senior citizen tail on. He was looking for a discount. Okay, wait a minute. Legacy says penny loafers.
Yeah. Oh, y'all went in, didn't y'all?
Oh, this is the SBC family. I don't expect anything less. So, Shamika says he was getting ready for Easter early.
Girl, it was so early. It wasn't even Ash Wednesday. How early you gotta start getting ready? It wasn't Ash Wednesday. It wasn't Fat Tuesday. He was getting ready way too early.
I have nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. I have absolutely nothing. Okay. Oh goodness. I don't know. They covered about with some more. Let me see. We don't get. Marcus said we don't get creative during Black History Month wearing Easter peach with bunny ears. Okay. Keena says he had just got that off of layaway.
I believe it.
Probably. Yep.
He could have went over there at Western Hills Mall and knew where, and bought it over there at Western Hills Mall over there in Fairfield. He could have. They got it out early or late. I don't know.
Stacy says it's Burke's special. So,
girl, I'm Burke's. I don't know. Ooh, maybe.
So, folks, on that note, we are certainly out of time. So, we are out of time. Y'all showed up and showed out tonight, though. So it's time for the church announcements, if I could find them. Okay, coming up next and at 1:30, we're gonna have the Tuesday night after party. We could finish talking about more linen suits and sandals with white socks and everything else you want to talk about during that. So just join in. The link will be posted in a few shakes. Then on Saturday, you have the Saturday night social. We have a good time. It's the same thing as, well, not really. It's a little wilder version because this past Saturday was a good one. You missed a treat if you missed that one.
Oh,
and it was a good one, Leslie. And it starts all over again next week, Lord willing, with another mind whatever edition of Tuesday Talk. So it's been a good one, y'all. It's been a good one, y'all. Worrying on y'all best behavior. So that's all I can say though. So thank you all for watching us. Thank you, Leslie, Victor, Tamara, Dwan, and Kirsten. Thank you all so much. And thank you all, audience out there, for watching us. And thank you for your support. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead or gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, 'cause you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right, everything inside. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw. The empire was starting to fall. And everything that I said